Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sonoda May Son and Kern coming to you from Second Life. I'm going to re-record my German Shepherd, my Dalmatian. This mod, or this tutorial, is for any of my personal mods that I have in my store, Project Mayhem Industries, but it can also be applied to any other mods that work with this avatar, the latest Kinzart Husky update. So this is mainly made for my mods, but it could be applied to other mods that use the same avatar. It depends on what features and what textures the other mods include. So I'm re-recording this with louder volumes. Hopefully you guys can understand and hear me. Make it a little bit brighter here. So let's go ahead and get started. I've go ahead and rezzed out the parts that we're going to mod. I rezzed out one of each: the ear, the head, the hand, the foot, the leg, and the tail. And it looks like I forgot the jaw. So let's res the jaw out. There we go. And we're set. We're all set. And I look very beautiful here, by the way. So when you unpack the mod, it's going to look more or less like this. You're going to get this box or this folder with, you know, the note card that I highly suggest you read because it answers some basic questions. It'll have an updated link to this tutorial, and if not here, check the marketplace listing for the mod, and the new video link should be there. It'll have you some applying basic questions here for your convenience. So I make these videos because I work full-time. I'm Central Time Zone in the United States. I am not online all the time to help you as much as I would like to be. I cannot help everyone that needs my help. That's why I created these tutorials. So to start off, let's just do the ear. Very, very simple. So if you look in your folder for the German Shepherd mod from my store, you'll see G-Shep ear, and it'll look something like this. It'll have the textures, it'll have this cutout PNG area, which is fine. So let's just go ahead and right click edit, and I'm going to edit link parts, and that just selects a certain part of the ear. So I'm going to click and drag my G-Shep ear texture to my build menu and drop it in the texture window, and look at that, it's done. You're ready to go with that one. That was very simple. Let's do another simple one, okay? Let's do the jaw. So with right click edit, and then you go to your build menu, and again keep edit linked parts on for this one, okay? Find the where are you? Here it is. G-Shep head jaw trans is transparent cheek fluff. So when you open the texture, you'll see this is clipped off. It's transparent cheek fluff trans because there's only so many characters I can fit in this name. So this is transparent and this is transparent. Okay. So with right click edit and your build window, edit link parts, because we don't want to retexture the entire jaw. Your teeth color is going to change, your jaw is going to your tongue is going to change. We don't want that. We just want this part to change, okay? So with just the jaw selected, not the invisible tongue, but the jaw, we're going to click and drag the G-Shep head jaw transparent cheek fluff to the build menu and drop it onto the texture window, and it's ready to go. Your jaw is ready and done. Now for the hand, it's just about the same idea. So with the edit linked still selected in your build menu here, I moved this hand so you can see what we're going to retexture. It's just going to be the basic white part of the hand from my avatar part right here. So we're going to look for G-Shep hand leg, which uses the hand and leg on the same texture, so you're not missing anything. This is the hand, this is the foot, and this is the leg. It's all on one texture. You're not missing textures. So with the hand selected, just the hand, we're going to click and drag the hand and leg texture to the texture window, and it's just ready to go. Look at that. You're done. More or less the same concept with the paw. So we're going to keep edit linked parts selected because we just want to select certain parts, and use the same G-Shep hand leg texture, okay? So we're going to click and drag that to the build menu under the texture window, and that changes it automatically. But you might notice underneath it's still white. It still has the original texture. So we're just going to click on that. I don't know if you saw that. It just kind of shifted a little bit. But now we have the white fluff selected. Use the same texture, hand and leg, click and drag to your window, and it automatically changed it, and this avatar part is ready to go. The leg, more or less the same idea. Edit link part, still selected in your build menu. Click directly onto the tail, the foot, the leg, and use the same G-shaped hand leg texture. Click and drag it, and the majority of the parts are done. So we need to do a couple more things here that I neglected to show you. Click on this part that has not changed. You can also make it invisible by making the transparency 100% if you do not want this fluff. You gotta do it for both sides. It's two faces. So click and drag after selecting, and looks like it's done it for everything. So one more thing I need to have you all do. On your build menu, click select face and click directly onto this fluff. Make sure the transparent fluff, wherever it is on your avatar, for the toes, for the leg, for the nose, we'll get to that idea, we'll get to that part later. Make sure under your texture tab, right here in alpha mode, it's set to alpha masking, and set this number to 100%. If it is set to none or alpha blending, that is incorrect. Make sure to change it to alpha masking, select it, and make sure the mask cutoff is 100. Okay, we're going to move on to the tail, which is the second to the last part we will be texturing here. So since I have edit linked parts and select face selected, it doesn't matter if you have this selected or not, it's just out of habit, I have it selected. So we're going to move to the tail, and I'm clicking on the solid part, the back part of the tail, clicking directly onto that, and it looks like I'm only going to be texturing half of the tail. You'll notice that when you click onto this tail, you'll see this little half circle with a line. This tells you what face of the avatar part is selected, and it'll tell you here too. Face number 2 is selected. We go over here, face number 1 is selected in your build menu, so it tells you what face you have selected. Down here on this transparent fluff, it is face 0. Here, this is all sides because this uses a different texture. But we're not going to worry about that just yet. We're going to worry about this part up here. So look for the G-shaped tail or any texture for any of my mods that say tail, that use this specific Kinzart tail. And it's going to look like this. This is the top, this is the middle, and this is the underside of the tail. So click directly onto this, click and drag the tail texture to your texture window, and you notice it only textured half. We can easily fix this by holding down Shift. So click one half, hold down Shift on your keyboard, and click the other side. You'll see now it'll say multiple sides selected. So we'll click and drag this texture again to the window, and both sides have now been textured. No problem. Let's move on to the next part. This transparent fluff, select face, still selected. Alpha masking is perfect, 100 cutoff perfect. Click and drag the same G-shaped tail texture to the window, and there you go. Let's do the same to the other side. Click and drag, and we need to, oh look, it's ready from the inside too. So for this last part, it's ridiculously easy. This uses a completely different texture than this one, the G-shaped tail. This is going to use solid tail fluff, which is this texture. So we're just going to click directly onto the underside of this tail, all the fluff, all the solid fluff, and I still have select face enabled. It's selected, yes, select face. Clicking directly onto this fluff will make all these little circles show up, and that tells you what parts you're going to be retexturing. So click and drag solid tail fluff to the window, and it's gone ahead and retextured everything for you. And this tail is done. Look at that, it's beautiful. Now the final part is the head. It's a little tricky, but once you're done, you're going to look so beautiful. Trust me. I mean, you bought the mod for a reason, right? Okay, so we're going to go back to edit linked parts. So deselect select face. Do not click this. To unclick it and go back to move. There we go. And I still have edit link part selected. So I'm going to click directly onto this bridge, the snout. I'm going to click directly onto the snout, and I'm going to be retexturing all of this. which is fine. That's what I want. So I'm going to look for the G-Shep Head, Jaw, Trans, Cheek Fluff. Remember, trans stands for transparent. Right here in the cheek, right here on the nose. Click and drag the head texture. And it's only changed certain parts. We'll get to the rest in a minute. Now, I have a lot of people asking me for help for the eyes. It's actually a lot easier than you think. Do not be intimidated by it. It is very easy, and I'll show you how to make this your bitch. With Edit Link Part still selected, on your build menu, it's this little check mark. Yes. We're going to zoom in as close as you can, and on your keyboard, click Control-Alt-T. And that shows you all of the invisible and parts that go invisible. If you understand what I'm saying. Like, the eyelashes, they're transparent. They're PNGs. So you can see through them. That's a PNG. The base texture of mine is a PNG when I'm uploading it. So that's why you can see the transparent fluff. So again, Control-Alt-T. And with Edit Link Part still selected, click directly here on the corner of the eye. It's a really deep red, so when we turn it off, Control-Alt-T, you'll only have the eye state selected. You do not have the entire head. You don't have the shine of the eye. You do not have the eyelashes. You just have the blinking state selected, and that's what you're going to retexture with the G-Shep Head, Jaw, Transparent Cheek Fluff. Click and drag it, and as you see when it blinks, there's no white spots because we got all the blinking states. A lot of you have issues with this because you use Select Face, not Edit Linked Parts. You need to use Edit Linked Parts for this part. Let's do it to the other side. We don't really need the Control-Alt-T, but if you want, that's fine. Control-Alt-T to disable. Click the corner of the eye. Again, make sure you're only selecting the blinking states, which it'll show you right here, and all the highlighted parts are just the blinking states. Click and drag the head texture, and everything has changed. You've got all the blinking states. Now this next one, it's a little tricky, but if you know your hotkeys, it'll make this go by very quickly. So Control-Alt-T once more, and we're going to click directly onto these two eyebrow states. So click one, hold down Shift on your keyboard, click the other one. Now you have both eyebrow states selected, but we still have two more to retexture. So click one, hold down Shift, click the other, and then just move it out of the way. And then finally, hold down Shift again, click the last two that you have here, as well as the other two that you moved. So you have neutral, sad, and angry states all selected at once, and we're going to retexture them all at once. Click and drag the head texture to your build window, and trust me, everything has changed textures. Control-Alt-T or Command-Alt-T, and oh no, we broke the avatar, we need to get a new one. Look at the eyebrow states. That is where you're wrong. Command or Control-Z, and everything goes back to where it was. Just perfect. Now this last part is really easy. It's like old school modding, which is how I first started to mod. So we're going to Edit Link Parts, and we're going to have to individually select all of these fluff. So we're going to do click one, and then hold down Shift, and click this as many as you can until you think you've gotten all of them. So keep holding Shift down while you're clicking all of these, okay? You can select multiple parts all at once. So I'm just going to do as much as I can. We might miss a couple, but it's okay. We can always go back and just reapply the texture. So these are all the little fluffs that I have selected. And I have here Cheek Fluff 1, which is the golden color, and Cheek Fluff 2 is the darker color, I believe. Yes. So just for now, we're going to do the gold, which is Cheek Fluff 1, click and drag, and everything changed to gold. But as you see right here, I have a couple of little cheek fluffs that are right on the black part of the fluff. So I'm going to click them directly. Click, hold down Shift, click click a couple more. You might accidentally click the transparent cheek fluff. Just click it again to deselect it. It'll take it out. So we're going to use cheek fluff 2 in your inventory. Click and drag. And look at that. It looks seamless now. Look at that. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Just to start off, I'm going to do these 3 right here. So 1, 2, and 3. Cheek fluff number 2 to make it a little seamless right here. And we're going to just select the rest of the white fluff to retexture it. And if you don't want the cheek fluff, you can just make it transparent here in your window. Or detach it, whichever you prefer, whichever is easier. So cheek fluff 1. Looks like we got most of them. We're just missing 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cheek fluff 1. Click and drag. Drop it. And we're ready to go. Look at that. One more thing we need to do. Command or Control Alt T. And you'll see around the muzzle we have this invisible prim or sculpt or mesh. This is the smiling. Feature for your head. So we're just going to click on it directly. Cam to the other side. Hold down Shift on your keyboard. Click it again. And we're going to bring up the head texture once more. Click and drag it. And it'll show up whenever you use your Husky HUD to smile or frown. And, oops. And the eyebrow states will also automatically be ready to go. So you'll be ready. Let's go ahead and just pick all this stuff up. Right click take, right click take. I'm only going to look half beautiful because I only did half the parts. So these are all the parts up here that I've done. So let's do this one, and this one, and this one, this one. So only half of me is ready. That's because I only showed you half the parts, because after you've seen this video, you should be able to do the rest. But look, let me just mess around with my HUD so you can see the eyebrow states. We're on neutral. Now we are angry, and the texture's there. And then we're sad. I get sad. So sad. And the texture's ready. And then we do, let's see, smile, and then we're going to do neutral. I don't know if you saw that. Frown, smile, frown, smile. See that? You are good to go, my friend. Once again, keep in mind the fluff needs to be alpha masking, and the mask cutoff needs to be 100%. I hope you were able to take something away from this video. I hope that you learned something, and I hope you put it to good use. Share the love, share the knowledge, share with your friends, help your friends out after you've seen this video and you have a better idea of what to do. I hope you enjoyed the mod. I hope you are enjoying the mod. And if you did like my mod, I would greatly appreciate a review. If you have any issues or trouble, please leave me an offline message. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I'm able. I work full time. I also go to the gym. I have a social life. So I'll be online when I can. Like I said, I'd prefer you contact me directly if you have any questions or concerns, or if you're having issues before leaving a negative review. I feel that's only justifiable if I forgot something, or if something, just is out of my hands. If it's something that's not my fault, I don't see it as being fair to blame me. That's why I make these videos, to help you, my awesome customers who support the work and keep me doing what I do for the past 5 years on Second Life. So thank you again for supporting my work, and I hope to see you around in Second Life.